Time to read Shiloh Season. That's the second book in the Shiloh series, Chapter 3. Kids are always wild at school on Fridays, restless to get the weekend started. Go poking around the bank of Middle Island Creek maybe. Borrow somebody's rowboat and route to an island if the water's deep enough. Could wade across if it isn't. Funny, long as I can remember, Ma's called it the river. Dad told us as soon as she laid eyes on it, after he married her and brought her here, she says, "That's no creek to me, it's wide as a river." So we kids forget sometimes, and we call it the river too. On the bus going home, Michael Stoltz got another story about Judd Travers. He's getting in a fight down there at Ben's Run a couple of nights back. But I don't hear the end of it because I get off with David Howard, and Darrell Lynn, she rides the rest of the way home without me. I always feel a little strange at David Howard's. You know, it's a big house, for one thing. All kinds of rooms in it. A whole room just for David. Another room for his father's books and computer. Even a room for plants. I told Ma about that once, and she said if it was her house, she'd put some of those plants outside where they belong and make more room for people. Meals are fancier at David Howard's too. The food don't taste any better than it does at home, but Mrs. Howard has placemats under the plates and cloth napkins rolled up in plastic rings. The way I eat at David Howard's, I watch what everybody else does before I start in. His folks is nice though. His dad works for the Tyler Star News, and he talks to me about basketball, even though I like baseball better. He always forgets. He asks me about the New York Knicks when it's the White Sox I got my eye on. Mrs. Howard's a teacher, and she cannot help herself. She sees something wrong, she corrects it. Shiloh don't like to see me climb on the bus each morning, I say at dinner, about the time she's passing out the dessert. "He doesn't, Marty," she says. "He doesn't like to see you climb on the bus." "No, he don't," I answer, my eyes on the chocolate pie. And then David giggles, and I know I goofed again. After dinner, David and me, we go outside and play kick the can with some other kids till after dark. And then when we come in, Mr. Howard teaches me some moves on the chessboard. After that, we eat some more and watch a video, Homeward Bound. Then we take turns in the shower and have to mop up the floor. That night, I'm laying in the top bunk in David's room, and I can't believe it. I'm homesick. Thinking about my family and what they had for supper and whether or not the telephone rang and who answered. And what crazy thing what Grandma Preston done this time. And whether Shiloh's watching the door, waiting for me to come home. I'm thinking Ma will give him extra love tonight. She don't know this, but once, when Shiloh was healing his hurt leg, I woke up real early in the morning from where I sleep on our couch. And across the room, I saw Ma in the rocking chair. She had Shiloh on her lap and was rocking and singing to that dog like he was a baby. I figure Ma's getting herself ready for the day that Becky and Darrell Lynn and me are grown and gone. Haven't heard a peep from David Howard in a while down there on that bottom bunk, so I figure he's probably already asleep. We played so hard and so long, he's got a right to be tired. I wasn't though. It's hard to sleep with cars going by every few minutes and the beams from them headlights, they're traveling along the wall. I'm laying there on my side, about to close my eyes when suddenly this horrible face with red eyes and green lips, it pops up right beside me, not 5 inches from my own, and it bobs up and down, a floating head. I yell. I can't help myself. And then David's having a laughing fit down below. "Settle down, you guys," comes Mr. Howard's voice as he passes our door. I want to know how David did that. So I crawled down the ladder and I pushed my way onto David's bed, punched his arm. David's got his head under the covers. He's laughing so hard. "How'd you do that?" I whisper. David shows me this rubber Halloween mask. He puts it on, and then he holds a flashlight under his chin. And then when he moves around, it's all lit up in that mask. It looks like a floating head. I'm thinking how I cannot wait to try that out on Daryl Lynn. We lay on our backs on David's bunk, and we talked some more about school. And that story that Michael Schultz was telling us about Judd getting in a fight with someone. We talk about the way he's been drinking lately, and I tell him, Ma's guess, that Judd looks in the mirror and he don't like what he sees. David raises up on one elbow and one of his elbows, and I can tell, and I can make out his face in the dark. His eyes are wide open. "You know what that means?" he says. "What?" I ask. "He's a vampire," David says, his eyes about to jump off his head. And even when David knows it's crazy, his imagination still runs off with him. "You're nuts," I say. "Vampires hate mirrors. If they ever look in a mirror, they die or something." Then, if he was a vampire, then he would not even have one, I tell David. "Oh," David says, and he lays back down. A minute goes by and David pops right back up again. "A werewolf," he says. "David, you're as crazy as Grandma Preston." That's what I say, and then I'm ashamed. It's not like she wants to be crazy. But David's all excited again. "It figures, Marty. He looks in the mirror and he sees fur and fangs. Ooh, and he goes just a little bit crazy." The only way to find out... Oh, I know what's coming before David even says the next word. "I'm staying at your place tomorrow night. We'll go check out Judd then, okay?" "Okay," I tell him. David don't think Judd Travers is a werewolf any more than I do. He just likes the idea of spying on him and stirring up a little excitement. I crawl back in the top bunk, and I can hear David snoring after a while. I fall asleep sometime later, but I don't know how long it's been, because all at once, middle of the night, there's this loud yell. Woo! My eyes pop open, and the yell seems to hang in the air like an echo. I can't figure out where I am. The bed's smooth, not lumpy like our couch. Then I remember I'm at David Harris, and I figured it was me who yelled. I wonder if I woke him up. The dream was so real. I dreamed that I'd got out of bed and I walked home. It seemed to be half light. And early morning, maybe. And I was hoping that Ma would be up and, tell me that Shiloh was okay. But nobody seemed to be around. And I could see Shiloh sleeping out on the porch. Whew, I'm thinking, he's all right. Everything looks calm and natural. But just as soon as I get close to the house, I see this long stick It's there. It's in the bushes. It looks like a branch is falling out of a tree. And maybe in it. Then I see it's not a stick at all. It's a gun. And it's pointed straight at Shiloh. Oh, it's the kind of dream where your legs don't move. And you just yell and yell, but then no sound comes out. Except I must have made some kind of noise, because next thing I know, I hear footsteps. It's out in the hall, and a door clicks open.
"Everything okay in here?"
comes Mr. Harrod's voice, real soft. "Yeah," I say, "we're okay." Mr. Howard closes the door again, and I look at the clock. 4:15. Boy, I cannot wait for it to turn light so I can go check on my dog. And that's the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4 will be in a few days. Hope you liked it. Bye.